야, 다들이
So today,
다가 안다. 소 산에기 유바
mainly the people of
저도 전중. 애니
Sikkim
지 유바조다. 애니 대다 첩지
to you, and
에
then
이연네
also
그 나야 가오르체. 애니 쳇탈 타나다
nearby places.
가오체니 영땡에 더 몽고
There may be there are many people who admire me and have come to this teaching. I'd like to greet everyone. So all of you follow different religions in general and particularly Buddhism. So you have interest in the teaching of the Buddha. So all of us human beings, right from our birth, we do not want suffering, but we want happiness. This is a natural instinct in us. Even animals and birds have the same wish, not to have suffering, but to have happiness. So we're all same in this regard.
가라도 그 속사 상원로 동해메드보다 대원도 샤다샤대요.
All living beings do not want suffering,
다
but want
뒤낭전에
happiness.
아주
So
미지기
we're all same in that regard.
이런시 현지기 동해메드보다 대원도
Particularly
얘도
human
탈이요.
beings,
아주 미
on top of that,
지
wish not to have suffering but happiness.
동해 영약이 에리지기 자신만고 중 아주 빼되게 요리.
We as human beings also create lots of activities, engage or indulge in lots of activities that cause us suffering. And then in the name of different religions, saying that I am from this religion, they are from that religion, so dividing ourselves from the religious point of view, we also, the 70 to 80 billion people, though we do not want suffering but want happiness, so many of the things that cause trouble to us, problems to us, we create them ourselves. So regarding myself, I respect all religions, And when I travel places, I visit the different places of worship, Christian church, Muslim mosques, and so forth. I pay pilgrimage to these places. But then people make distinction amongst ourselves on the basis of our religion, saying, I am from this religion, they are from that religion, and so forth. And then lots of problems occur. So, what we need is harmony, friendship amongst people, everyone, and especially amongst the followers of the
요
religions, different
संसारमा
religions.
미자가 파괴유
So, the land of the noble ones, India, is a country where all different religions exist, coexist. Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, and other religions. So there are many different religions that live harmoniously in this country of India. So all the different religions of the world coexist and are in harmony with one another despite their philosophical differences. So the one message is common to all religions, in all religions, that is, to have a good heart, warm heart. So therefore, it is very important for us to respect all the different religious traditions of the world.
아무로
자사가도 저번에 되가라
Therefore, in this world,
녀도 세야 최저도
to resolve problems, religions should be able to do that, but then, in the name of religion, we create extra problems in the world. Therefore, despite the difference in our philosophical views, even within the Buddhism, we have the four philosophical schools, classical philosophical schools, Vaibhashik, Shautantik, Chittamatra, and Madhyamaka. But because of our mental dispositions, difference in mental dispositions of the different people, but all religions teach us to have good hearts, to be altruistic. So therefore, generally speaking, in India, all the different religions, the different religions in India are in harmony with one another. So we should not divide ourselves, engage in bigotry and so forth in the name of different religions, just because we are different religions. So as a follower of the Buddha, a bhikshu, a monk, I respect all religious traditions in spite of the different philosophical views and thoughts. But all religions teach us to be kind and honest.
데스테가리
세상 출루터는 저기 직전 거 보고 되겠다 메디게 되도 먹고도 봐
So there, within the religious traditions, there are those who believe in a creator God and those who do not. Within Indian religious traditions, we have Lokayatas or Charvakas and Samkhya schools and so forth. So I usually say that, of course, religion is a personal matter, but on a general level, all human beings should have a good heart, and therefore I consider secular ethics or universal ethics very important.
도전행부 나라도 저분이 내가 예대에
So, in essence,
좋아 매지기
all human
대개는 뒤로
beings
때문에나 나라도
on this
지기적으로
earth, if we
추루면서
look
그래도
at in
제대에
our
그래도
history,
추구자라고
we know
지기적으로
that
수학한테
people have
시도가
fought wars and battles in the
다
name of religion,
이 비슷이 수학을 다 나라도 저분이
but that
내가기
kind of
미 통지
uh,
다
thing is
뒤지지
outdated.
되지 나라 상황로
Now,
에네
the 7 to 8
참고
billion people on this earth,
지기적으로 러시아
what we should do is to live
패센제
in harmony
에네
and friendship and be
시베탄의
of help to
저분이
one another
시디
and benefit to
샤티다바
one another
문제지 않아라
in order
아주
to create
상황하게
a
배려주가지 아주
peaceful
상황에
and
배려자
harmonious world. So, this is
데스테가리 아무
the
지루어리
responsibility
끼요.
of every one of
비세마르
us
나타나
in the
짠소.
world.
제사가 어
So,
그것은 용어 축기 대대가 맞아 여러
due
그도로
to
추루기에
natural
태기를
disasters,
대대
we have
그게
problems.
강에 용대야
But on top of that,
그래서 대지
if we create more
다
problems in the name of religion,
모아버리셔 나
that's
상월로
not
기회에서
something that
그게
we
추루기에서
want.
영화리 가다
So, when we
땅에
were born at our birth, we do not have any religion.
나가서 기회에
We were
멋있어서
we
나도
we took
미치고
birth from our
두시
mother
더네 시기
and
써서
have
시기로 편도셔 시기
who took care of us with
저분이
love and care,
동주
affection.
어
And therefore, what we need
주다
is
예를 얘기
to be loving
나서로
and
미치기로
caring to one
나서로
another
시기로
as
두고서
human beings.
시기로
We are
러시아
same in that regard.
그때 개수버리셔
And it is
애는
important
상에
for us, very important for all of
지금
us
미치고
as human
두시
beings to
처음에
help one another
애는 믿음이 써 이 개수부 지금 쓰이세
so that we can
애는
consider
주로
human
써야
love
돼
and
일이
affection to be
최대
very
매일
important,
매일
crucial in our
가다
life.
미치기를
Whether you believe in a religion or not doesn't matter.
미치기는 두시 터네
So, with
미치기
this sense of
써셔야지
oneness of human
나서는
being,
개수부 쓰이니
we should
지기로
consider it very
러시아 지기로
important
판도셔
in order to help one another,
최근량에
in order to
대해서
benefit one another
어
as human beings.
최대 맹행의 통하는 샤샤네
So, even for
지기로
non
러시아 지기로
believers,
펜션제 세대도 세대단
doing
로야지
so, helping one another, benefiting one another,
미지도 디기 데버지 용야리야
will
세대
help,
편도야야다
definitely help
애는
to
전문이지
create a
다
happy
대나선제
society, happy
그냥 아다
community.
최대서야 터네 축구자야
Otherwise,
동물이
there had
다다게
been
사실
many different wars and battles and fightings, conflicts in the world
축구전에
in the name of
미끄러세
dividing ourselves in the name
축구자야
of religion
그랑게 샤본
and so forth.
샤본살로 고수는
So
그러면
we have, human beings have created so many weapons,
이지 나도 대하고 싸운다나
have spent so much resources, money, and so forth
정말로
to build them.
미치규리 상월로
These are all unnecessary
애니 지기실로 러시아
to destroy one another. But with the sense of oneness of human being, whether you believe in a religion or not, doesn't matter.
미치규근 두시고 터네 차보다 투부셔야지
So it's very important for us to be harmonious and friendly with one another. So wherever I go, wherever I speak, I always tell people that all of us are same in that we do not want suffering, but we want happiness. So it is important for us to be friendly and harmonious with one another.
요
So, whereas religion is a personal matter.
파리 비세마
So, recently there were lots of floods and disasters happened, and many people have died also. So, for the sake of everyone, the diseased as well as those living who have faced problems, we will pray for everyone, for those who are still alive, We pray for their good health, physical health, as well as peace of mind. We'll recite the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra together, one round of mala. So the people in the Himalayan region have, because Tibet is the special land blessed by Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, we have the custom of reciting the Om Mani Padme Hum, the six-syllable mantra of Avalokiteshvara, from our childhood, and therefore the Himalayan region, people of Himalayan region also have special connection with Avalokiteshvara. So, with everyone who have died due to the disaster, the recent disaster, and everyone who is also who are suffering from this disaster, let us all recite the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, one round of the rosary mala. Okay. Let us first recite Om Mani Padme Hum, one round of mala. So this is homage to Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara, who is praised by all the Buddhas and has completed all the excellent qualities and is known as Avalokiteshvara. I pay homage to him. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum.
Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani.
Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
Whatever merit has been collected through this recitation, meditation, I dedicate it to reach Buddha, to the state of Avalokiteshvara, and help others to reach the same goal of becoming, attaining the state of Avalokiteshvara. May all my parents have happiness, and may all the lost existence, lower realms of existence, come to an end. So today we are gathered here for the teaching on the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. So the text begins with a salutation in Sanskrit, Namo Lokeshwaraya, and then a salutation verse in Tibetan. I pay constant homage through my three doors, body, speech, and mind, to my supreme teacher and protector Chandrasekhar, who, while seeing all phenomena lack, coming and going, makes single-minded effort for the good of living beings. So what we should understand is that whatever exists, all these different phenomena do not exist from their own side, but they exist by way of dependence, by way of designation. So this should be determined in our mind. Therefore, what we should understand is that things are dependently arisen. And therefore, it's very important for us to be harmony with one another. So we should always help one another, be friendly and harmonious with one another, and not fight with one another. So this is very important. In the next verse, perfect Buddha, source of all well-being and happiness, arise from accomplishing the excellent teachings, and this depends on knowing the practice. So I will explain the practices of bodhisattvas. Having gained this rare ship of freedom and fortune, here think and meditate unwaveringly day and night in order to free yourself and others from the ocean of cyclic existence. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So first, we should have some understanding, a rough understanding on an intellectual level, what is meant, the meaning of the lack of or absence of inherent existence in things and beings. And that understanding that we have developed should be used in reflection over and over again. And regarding myself, right from the beginning of the day, I make bodhicitta, this altruistic spirit of enlightenment, and the wisdom of emptiness, my main practices. Regarding bodhicitta, there is no greater factor than this to achieve one's own ultimate goal and the goal of the other sentient beings as well. So all sentient beings across the expanse of space, as infinite as the expanse of space, so the problem regarding the problems, difficulties Tibetans are facing inside Tibet because of the Chinese communist ideology, we cannot be angry with them or hatred, the perpetrators, but have compassion for these people who inflict harm upon us. Attached to your loved ones, you are stirred up like water. Hating your enemies, you burn like fire. In the darkness of confusion, you forget what to adopt and discard. Give up your homeland. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Now, by avoiding bad objects, disturbing emotions gradually decrease. Without distraction, virtuous activities naturally increase. With clarity of mind, conviction in the teaching arises. So as soon as you wake up, when you reflect on bodhicitta, this altruistic spirit of enlightenment, bodhicitta, the different conceptions and thoughts, negative thoughts and emotions subside, and you have peace of mind. You experience a peace of mind. And therefore, through this peace of mind, peaceful state of mind, you also have a good health. And therefore, this is the best course for peace of mind. And also, when you acquaint with other people, with the sense of benefiting them, as the prayer says, in order to fulfill the interest of oneself and others, may I generate bodhicitta. So all Tibetans, as well as people living in neighboring countries, to have peaceful mind is the best thing that we can develop. So this bodhicitta, altruistic spirit of mind, is something that we should cultivate. As the prayer says,
상로직
I
땅대기
go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha,
라드데
Dharma, and the Supreme
인데
Sangha, and I
라샤테네
do
로로시
so to
저주섬이
attain
제버
enlightenment in
장주
order to
속에
fulfill the
섬네
aims of myself
계계네
and others. I shall develop a supreme
심지어
enlightened
다게
motive,
대원론도
and towards all
얘기
sentient beings, my invited guests, I
어
shall act with
애니
supreme enlightened
장주섬에 저봐
conduct, delightful
초 이도
supreme
라샤끌라
enlightened conduct.
내가도
May I
터두게
become a
팬데
Buddha to
멋이
benefit all
있다고 싶으면
sentient beings.
장주섬에
So bodhicitta
이동을
is
저봐
that factor which brings happiness and
어다
bliss
애네
for
든든든다
oneself as
장주섬
well as all
장주섬도
other
섬기
sentient beings.
애니 장주섬에 저봐 라샤끌라 팬데 멋이 있다고 싶게 이동을 저봐
So
뒤디 애네
bodhicitta is the
어다
factor
내랑
which
고동
brings
가격거리기네
about
저봐 되다
benefit, well-being,
어네
and
마차고
happiness for
셔네
oneself
저봐들로
and
저봐시
others.
라시아 되네 저도 진짜서는 제주 사고 섬에 끼네 섬자도저 다그러던 청주
So,
최소 이용 저버기
in order to fulfill
돌아서
the aims of
상계도
myself and
소
others, I cultivate
어야
this altruistic enlightenment, the spirit of enlightenment. I shall develop the supreme enlightened motive, and towards
저
all sentient beings,
섬기리
my invited
가
guests, I
어시
shall
교고로
act with supreme
지키르샤
enlightened conduct. May I become a Buddha to benefit all
그냥
sentient
알아
beings.
차샤네 디 전주 섬종사의
So, regarding
시우지가
myself,
상덕이다
training my mind in
시우지
bodhicitta
팽그도 섬리야
is very beneficial
섬을
to
시리실래야 돼
myself.
솔직히
It
류
brings peace of mind,
중어디디 찬용네 류류
and
최대인데
together with that,
자주성 공유하디
good physical health. So, though bodhicitta is not meditated upon for physical health as such, but because of the emotional hygiene that is brought about by bodhicitta, it also helps my physical health as well as a byproduct. So, this altruistic spirit of enlightenment is incredible. It brings you peace of mind, and people who cause harm to you, suffering to you, intentionally, you, instead of becoming angry, you feel compassionate towards them as well. So, therefore, this bodhicitta is something incredible. So, when I think of Chinese perpetrators who inflict harm and suffering upon Tibetans, I feel compassionate to them. I never feel angry at them. And so it gives me this kind of peace of mind through the bodhicitta gives me this peace of
संसारमा
mind.
शरीर अनेक प्राणीहरूको बसोबास रहेको छ चाहे
Therefore, if you think of bodhicitta, you feel relaxed, and that also in turn gives you a very sound sleep, and your life also becomes very meaningful. And therefore, bodhicitta is something incredible. So, if you think through, bodhicitta is the best means for your good health. You will not have jealousy, sense of competition, and so forth, negative sense of competition and so forth with other people, with bodhicitta. So, regarding myself, I grew up with under mother's love and affection, loving and affectionate care, and then having studied about bodhicitta since my young age, I can feel its effect, being that it gives me a great peaceful state of mind. So now I am 88, nearly 90. I have not lost even a single tooth. So all my teeth are intact. So this is the effect of relaxed, calm state of mind due to bodhicitta. So if your mind is not disturbed, you have peace of mind. If your mind is disturbed, you also feel physically disturbed. Your physical health also becomes weak. So through the accumulation of merit, with the help of bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness, helping in accumulation of wisdom, so of course we accumulate merit and wisdom through bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness, but which brings the ultimate result of Buddhahood. But even at this immediate, uh, in a day-to-day life, also we can feel its positive effect. And so please keep this in mind and think about bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness on a day-to-day basis.
Ya da chanchu sans jibu yin de sa de de yang ho pu ge zhe xie ru ge ru jian de sang lu mo gu
So,
da
of
guo
course,
de.
with regard to
Han da
bodhicitta, there are lots of
de ge le ya
explanations
shi bu sang da
and
mo tu ne.
that we
Sa bu sang
can
gu chi de ya ji da shi
have.
bu ji kai shi bu ri sha.
But even
De
if
ga yang
you
ge
cannot,
shui
you're
ye
not
wa da
able
me.
to think broadly and then extensively about bodhicitta, you should still think of having a good heart, a warm heart towards others. If you have that, then you will feel relaxed within. You don't need to take sleeping pills to have a peace, calm state of mind. So if you think of benefiting all of the sentient beings, you should you will be able to experience peace of mind as well. So verse loved ones who have long kept company will part. Wealth created with difficulty will be left behind. Consciousness, the guest, will leave the guest house of the body. Let go of this life. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. And next, when you keep the company, your three poisons increase. Your activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating decline, and they make you lose your love and compassion. Give up bad friends. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. When you rely on them, your faults come to an end, and your good qualities grow like waxing moon. Cherish the spiritual teacher even more than your own body. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Bound himself in the jail of cyclic existence. What worldly? God can give you protection. Therefore, when you seek refuge, take refuge in the three jewels, which will not betray you. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. The subduer said, all the unbearable suffering of bad rebirths is a fruit of wrongdoing. Therefore, even at the cost of your life, never do wrong. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Like dew on the tip of a grass, pleasures of the three worlds, last only a while and then vanish. Vanish. Aspire to the never changing supreme state of liberation. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. When your mothers, who have loved you since time without beginning, are suffering, what use is your own happiness? Therefore, to free limitless living beings, develop the altruistic intention. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. All suffering comes from the wish for your own happiness. Perfect Buddhas are born from thought to help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. His Holiness is already on this verse, which says, if an equal or inferior person disparages you out of pride, place him as you would your spiritual teacher with respect on the crown of your head. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Though you lack what you need, and are constantly disparaged, are afflicted by a dangerous sickness in spirits without discouragement, take on the misdeeds and pain of all living beings. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Though you become famous and many bow to you, and you gain riches to equal Vishravanas. See that worldly fortune is without essence, and don't be conceited. This is practice of bodhisattvas. While the enemy of your own anger is unsubdued, though you conquer external foes, they will only increase. Therefore, with the militia of love and compassion, subdue your own mind. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Essential pleasures are like salt water. The more you indulge, the more thirst you increases. Abandon at once those things which breed clinging attachment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Whatever appears in your own mind is your own mind. Your mind from the start was free from fabricated extremes. Understanding this, do not take to mind inherent signs of subjects and objects. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So this verse, as all is commented, shows that of emptiness. When you encounter attractive objects, though they seem beautiful, like a rainbow in summer, don't regard them as real and give up attachment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Without ethics, you can't accomplish your own well-being. So wanting to accomplish others is laughable. Therefore, without worldly aspirations, safeguard your ethical discipline. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So, with regards to emptiness, it is very important to study Madhyamaka texts like Mula Madhyamaka Karika, the 400 verses, and particularly the Madhyamaka Avatara by Chandrakirti. So this comment is regarding the verse which says, since the five perfections without wisdom cannot bring perfect enlightenment, along with skillful means cultivate the wisdom which does not conceive the three spheres as real. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. If you don't examine your own errors, you may look like a practitioner but not act as one. Therefore, always examine your own errors. Rid yourself of them. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. If through the influence of disturbing emotions you point out the faults of another bodhisattva, you yourself are diminished. So don't mention the faults of those who have entered the great vehicle. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Reward and respect cause us to quarrel and make hearing, thinking, and meditation decline. For this reason, give up attachment to the households of friends, relations, and benefactors. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Harsh words disturb the minds of others and cause deterioration in the bodhisattva's conduct. Therefore, give up harsh words, which are unpleasant to others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Habitual disturbing emotions are hard to stop through counteractions. Armed with antidotes, the guards of mindfulness and mental alertness destroy disturbing emotions, like attachment at once, as soon as they arise. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. In brief, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, what is the state of my mind? With constant mindfulness and mental alertness, accomplish others' goodness. This is the practice of bodhisattvas, to remove suffering of limitless beings, understanding the purity of the three spheres, to dedicate the virtue from making such efforts to enlightenment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas, and so forth. So with this, Isoln has finished the teaching on bodhisattva, the 37 practices of bodhisattvas. So I have already explained. The essence is to have a good heart towards others, think of benefiting, and always feel determined not to part with this attitude of benefiting other sentient beings. at all. And this would be the best offering from your side to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So consider altruistic intention to benefit others to be the most important. So keep this in mind, everyone, and do your best to cultivate a good heart and benefiting others. Think of benefiting others.
Oh yeah.
So then I wish to recite some of the verses from Madhyamaka Avatara. So these verses come from Madhyamaka Avatara, chapter 6, verses 34 down to 38. So these are very powerful lines. So I recite these every day and reflect on their meaning, which is to say that those things, when you look at things, they appear as if they have some kind of absolute independent existence, yet they do not exist that way. But the way they exist is by way of designation, by way of dependent designation.